Welcome to another Busy Webinar. I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, reminding you and helping you to find time to save time with advanced social media tips and tricks. We're going to talk through a bunch of stuff today, and I want to get right to it for you, so let's get rolling. First, here's how to reach me and request the slides today. There's going to be a lot of helpful information, so if you would like to request the slides for your reference, send me an email at dave@bizzyweb.com. And of course, if you're having problems watching or seeing things, you can always call us at 612-424-9990. If you'd like to ask questions live during the event, you can also do that during the event using the Google Hangouts tool. And in order to do that, you simply click under number 1 above the embedded video right here on the Google Plus link. When you click on that Google Plus link, it's going to open up a window, and from that window, you'll be able to click on the play button. I'm going to click yes, that I'm going to watch. I'm going to click the play button, and then it'll open up a new screen, and that screen will include a handy Ask a New Question link down at the lower right. So in the lower right-hand corner, the big green button that says Ask a New Question, if you click there, you can ask a question here. That's how we do that, and it's simple, easy, and very fun to do. So we'd love to have you engage with us and ask us questions. This is, after all, designed for you, not for us. And if you do have questions about how to save time using social media, this is your chance to do so. So again, if you're looking to ask questions during the event, you simply go into the events page, and from that events page, you're going to click on the Google Plus link. From that Google Plus link, you'll be able to click on the Q&A, or actually click on play, and then under the Q&A tool in the lower right-hand corner, you'll be able to click the green button and ask questions. I'll be checking that occasionally as we go through the event. So that takes care of all of the basics for today. Again, if you do have questions or would like the slide deck, don't delay and send me a note at dave@bizzyweb.com so that I know who you are and I can send you the PowerPoint slides. And let's get down to business. First, a little bit about who BizzyWeb is. We're a digital marketing agency located just north of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we'd love to have you connect with us and ask us any questions you'd like. I'm going to give you a couple of options at the end of the event today to talk about or to ask me questions, and of course, to subscribe to our newsletter, which shares helpful tips and invitations to events like the one you're attending today. About every week or so, a little bit less than once a week, we send these out about 3 times a month. So we won't over-inundate you, and we love to be as helpful as possible. We don't sell and we don't share lists, so we'd love to have you connect with us for as much information as possible. My personal motto is to help as many people as possible, and the world will pay you back. So that's how we run. What do we do? We're a digital marketing agency, and we focus on email marketing, of course. And this presentation today is launched in partnership with Constant Contact. But we also do Google AdWords campaigns, content writing, social media engagement campaigns, search engine optimization, and of course, web design. We've designed websites for far and sundry folks, including Prince the artist, and all kinds of other wonderful things like UN subcommittees. But the biggest thing that you need to know is that we're here to help you if you need it. So why are you here today? You probably already know that social media takes a ton of time to do well. If you've tried this at all, there's a lot of things that you can do, but also a lot of noise in the field. So if you're trying to reach as many people as possible and use all of that social media wonderfulness, 90% of businesses do see increased exposure and improved sales from social media, but it's important to do it right from the get-go. If you take a little bit of time now to learn, you will save your time later. We all know that your time is worth money. Literally, 1 minute at Constant Contact was estimated for marketing folks. A minute equals $273. So if you can do more with less inside of those minutes, and especially if you do some things like with BizzyWeb powered websites, you can post to multiple webs or multiple social media accounts all from your website and use your website as the foundation. that can literally save you dozens of minutes and hours of time. So that's what we're going to get to today, and here's how we're going to get there. First, we're going to talk about curating content, why it's important to your social media strategy, and the best ways to save time while finding content so you don't have to create everything you share in social media. Next, we're going to discuss what, why, and how of using social media management tools to help you manage and automate much of your social media marketing. We're going to go through how to use your events to create relevant content for your audience. We're going to discuss what apps you can use on your mobile devices to be social even on the go. And finally, to ease your mind when it comes to social media, we'll give you tips on how to stop overthinking your content. We'll finalize out with next steps and include how to stay in touch with us. But let's get down to as much as we possibly can for you today. So here we go. Let's talk about curating content. What the heck is curating content? Well, it's really the act of discovering, gathering, and presenting digital content that surrounds a specific subject matter. What you're looking for, content that can help you get more likes, get more connections, get more engagement with your clients, with your visitors, and turn those visitors into customers. We're looking at your website, Facebook, the blog, all of the content that you do with your marketing needs to work together. And we can help you by, or you can help yourself by writing content that's designed around getting found. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We've all been told since grade school that plagiarizing is wrong, and many small business owners worried that if they're sharing someone else's content, they're stealing. Well, not really. So if you give credit to the original author, like you see in the examples on the screen, that's the right way to curate content. You can use via, by, H/T, which stands for hat tip, giving the authors proper credit. On Twitter, those people will be notified that someone has shared their content and may respond with a thank you. If you're on Facebook or on a WordPress blog, they're likely to get a notice that you've published content of theirs. And the point, and the most important point of doing that, is to share it respectfully, not overshare, and only come up with as little as possible of that original content to relay your message. It's what I call the Oreo post philosophy. You start off with your introduction, why the piece of content that you're about to quote is interesting. You include that snippet of content, and again, usually not more than a paragraph or maximum 2, and then you end out that cookie with your explanation on why this is important. This can be very short via social media and these tweets, for example, where it's just via, or with blog posts and with longer form content, you would literally include a snippet of that content and then link back right underneath that content to your sourced material. There are many reasons why curated content should be a large part of your social media strategy. Everybody knows this, but for the recommended amount of social sharing, there's just not enough time in the day to create the amount of content you'll need to keep your social media presence robust. However, sharing and interacting often is what generates increased followers and fans and keeps them engaged over and over again with what you share. If you were to create unique content by yourself every day, you'd probably need someone to help you with all that volume. That's why proper curation is strongly encouraged. Let's say you have a presence on Facebook and Twitter. Best practice says you should post on Facebook 1 to 3 times a day and tweet between 5 and 9 times a day. And I'm going to stop you for a second here and say, what? Holy cow. But do this at least once a week for content and you'll be okay. The key is to be consistent. But once we get into it, and once you really find that you're hitting your stride in social media, you've got all these time-saving tips and tricks all figured out, you can easily and simply spend 15 to 20 minutes or less a day to get the results that I'm talking about here. That means you're posting a minimum of 6 pieces of content a day. And honestly, who has time to write 6 different pieces of content? Well, you don't have to if you write content related to your business and combine others' efforts to get a wide range of content for your viewers by sifting through other public content. We're going to use Maria's Twitter feed as an example. Ideally, someone should be able to come and get one of their social media channels and find all the information they could ever want about you and your industry from your account. If they want a full spectrum perspective, it's harder to become that one-stop shop if you're only sharing the content that you create. Because if to do that, it takes more time in the first place. Looking at Maria's Twitter feed, we see that Maria includes articles that she's found around the internet and that she thinks her audience should be interested in. And notice she always includes the handle or @name of the author. She retweets people she's following, and she promotes things that are going on in her world too. Maria is a great example of how to use your social media channels and how it can be a one-stop shop with the right amount of varied content curation. Now, I mentioned this before, but another important attribute of curating content is the opportunity it provides to help you build influential relationships with others in your field. One of the things that we talk about in our Twitter strategies is that following the right people is a perfect way to continue to grow your business. One of the biggest advantages to social media, especially Twitter, is the ability to grow those relationships with people you wouldn't be able to reach otherwise and expand your network. When you share someone else's article and give them credit by tagging them, they then see that you're sharing their article. This can turn into a great relationship. You share that content, and then it gets you to the next step. And it really brings that out and helps people scratch your back and you'll scratch mine kind of thing. So now you can see why curating content is important, but the idea of doing it might seem a little bit tedious to you as well. You'd be reading websites all day, right? And as a matter of fact, personally, Dave Meyer, I review about 200 websites a day in order to keep up to date with what's going on. Seems like a lot, but there's a trick. RSS readers can help you save a lot of that time. RSS readers are a tool that most social media community managers use to save time, and with good reason. A reader allows you to house multiple blogs and article-based websites. Like I said, I have about 200 that I follow in one central location. That means you only have to go to one website, your RSS reader's URL, to see the newest posts from all the blogs and publications you've included in your reader. Finding time to post is one thing, but getting it out is another way. So if you have all of this content and if you're using it, here's the tool that I recommend. Feedly is an absolutely brilliant tool that not only has a web version that you can use on a computer, but it also has a number of app versions. So if you're using Feedly, and it's an Feedly, it's a free tool, it'll let you connect and browse all of the content that you're looking for day to day. There's a great tool that I'll include, and you may want to jot this down because it's not written anywhere in this slide deck, but Alltop, ALLTOP, is a great way to find great RSS capable content. Alltop stands for all the top blogs in pretty much any vertical market in the universe. You know, if you're a mechanic, there's a Feedly feed, or there's an Alltop feed for mechanics. If you're in social media, if you're in the legal profession, if you're a nonprofit, if you're in dairy farming, all of those things have Alltop feeds. So checking that out can be very, very helpful. The interface is incredibly easy to navigate with Feedly. All you need to do is click around and follow it. It's just like reading a massive newspaper, and you can browse through just the articles that you're looking for. You can browse through different kinds of content, and you can style and save that content in different folders. And I, for example, have my must-reads that I check every single day. I have my social media content that I check out when I'm interested in following the world of social media. I'm a little bit of an Apple geek, so I have a feed and a folder about all of the Apple news that I might be interested in. So all of that stuff is available, and it's incredibly easy to browse. You can see all of the different kinds of content out there very simply and easily, and it just browses through all of that content. So you can click through each of those articles, and it's just going to show the title of the article, an image, and sometimes animated GIF if the tool that you're using or if the feed that you're using has those, and a little bit of a snippet so you can browse, check to see what you like. Another thing that I like to do Instapaper to save all of those articles. Instapaper is another tool just like Feedly, but it's a reader. Also Pocket and a few other things are like that. Other tools that are great for this include Flipboard, Dig, or a bunch of other places. So if you're interested in more links and don't want to try out Feedly, first I would encourage you just to check it out because it's fantastic. But if not, I can give you some more resources when you send me a note. So RSS readers aren't the only tool that you can use to curate content. There's plenty of other tools you can use to help with your curating efforts. Google Alerts lets you set up alerts for keywords relevant to your audience. A daily email is sent to you with a collection of articles that include those keywords that have been found around the internet. Just set up an alert for your business name as a first step. It's a great way to keep an eye on who's checking out you or your business. Email newsletters are another great way to find content, so be sure to subscribe to other people's newsletters. If you have industry leaders in your field, check out who's doing what and keep up to date with their content by subscribing to their newsletters. Social media feeds are a great place for you to find content that you might like. That's following different groups on Facebook or Twitter, subscribing to pin boards on Pinterest, following Tumblr feeds, checking out Google+. All of that content can be very helpful. Your channels are filled with resources you can use on social sites. Retweeting or sharing your followers' content is a great way to increase the amount of content that you're posting. But again, don't forget to give credit to who you're connecting with and who you're using content from. All right, we're at social media management tools. We've gone through content, through curating content. As a reminder, again, if you'd like to browse and ask me questions, clicking on this blue Google Plus link and then clicking on the green Ask a New Question button will submit a question that I can see live during the event. If you're shy or if you have other questions that you'd like to ask, and of course, if you would like the PowerPoint deck from today, please send me an email at dave@bizzyweb.com, and I'll share that address again before the end of the event today. So, social media tools. The benefit for management tools can vary based on the platform you decide to use. For the most part, every one of these should allow you to sit down and schedule your social media content. For Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, there's nothing that'll help you save more time than the ability to respond, retweet, and share social media posts and all on one platform. So check your management platform once a day, and that puts you on top of social media inquiries, praises, and engagement. Knowing which content works and what doesn't is very easy to do when you look at your analytics. So most platforms offer some form of analytics, and they're usually pretty easy to set up and understand. Before we look a little deeper into each of these, I want to remind you that these desktop platforms aren't all free. They're all low cost, however, and if you think back to how much money an hour of your day is worth, the low monthly fee is much less than the amount of time you'll save by using them. BizzyWeb spends several $100s a month in social media monitoring platforms and programs for our clients. We manage almost 30 clients now in all of their digital marketing services through our Buzz Builders programs. And every penny we spend in social media marketing and monitoring tools is incredibly helpful and well worth its weight in anything we could spend. HootSuite is a great example of a social media engagement tool that can help you schedule, engage with people, and get analytic reports on one single platform. One of the best features when using a management tool like HootSuite is the ability to schedule your posts in advance. You can also do this through your blog, and you can also post to many social media content or social media accounts from your website, but HootSuite also lets you listen in. You can schedule for many different social media accounts, whether you're using different messages or one message across several different accounts, and you can see all scheduled posts and edit the time and day those posts appear, all from HootSuite. And after you schedule what posts you plan to share, you also need to come back through the week and continue to engage with your followers. Social media is supposed to be a conversation, so you never want to only push out content. make sure you're also having conversations. This kind of tool allows you to favorite tweets, retweet them, and of course, respond publicly and privately to tweets that you see in your feed. If you do pay for the premium version of the product, you can also assign tweets that require responses to other members of your social media team for follow-up. One word on HootSuite, that usually amounts to about $5 per person you assign to use HootSuite per. So the content and ease of use of these things is very important for when you're building this. So when you think about this, whether it's scheduling, analytics, you want to make sure that you set it, but that you don't forget it. Here's an example of what social media management can look like for you. These are all of the followed feeds inside of HootSuite. And social media management tools include the ability to change and schedule those posts, as I mentioned. So this is the sharing tool inside of the engagement part of HootSuite. And then once you get back into it, you can see a lot of data under analytics. So you can see how many links or clicks each of your tweets received, what your best engagement ratio is for the type of content that you have. And all of that can help you determine what content your audience is consuming and what they're not really all that interested in. So here's an example of the amount of clicks that you received by link. So here's the big winners on June 16th or June 26th. You know how to gather content now, and you have a couple of ideas about how to use the tools. But let's talk about how you can get very specific ideas for creating content around doing events, even if you are the one that's speaking. There's a lot of content at events that you can use to build your social presence. Use conversations that go on in events, questions that you're asked, or the content from presentations to build all kinds of content for your business. Heather Jackson, a regional development director at Constant Contact, does a great job of this by quoting other speakers at her events, which is a great way to support other speakers. She even uses apps to add the speaker's quotes to the image to draw attention. Heather uses WordSwag to add the text to this image, an app which costs $2.99. There's tons of free apps that do this as well, like Overgram. And on desktop, you can use Pablo, which is a free tool built by the social media management dashboard Buffer. It allows you to easily add text to imagery. When quoting, always make sure to tag the speaker in your post to give them credit and let them see that you're giving them some social love. Note that this image came directly from the event and something said by one of the speakers. Heather uses her mobile device at every event. Your phone or tablet is your best friend. Take pictures, ask attendees to participate in a quick 1-minute video, or use apps like Heather did to create text images during your event. It's always a good idea to thank your attendees, especially if they take time to be social during the event. Create a Twitter list with all of those who use the event hashtag, and that makes it easy to keep track of those who are actively engaged. Take it one step further and follow up with those attendees a week or so after the event. See what they thought about your event and if they have any questions. You're the expert, so use your expertise before, during, and after your event. Continue to give attendees tips and tricks using your event hashtag after the event, and make sure to tell your audience about your hashtag during your presentation. Use images, questions, and topics mentioned during your seminar for the base of your next blog or social media post. You can use their answers and your pictures in your next blog post. Just, again, make sure that you give credit to those that you mention. Now you can promote content on all of your social networks in an email newsletter and send those to those that you featured so that they can share it on their networks. There's a lot of different ways to use your event for content now and in the future, so you never have to feel like you can't post for yourself because you're always busy at events. Use them to your advantage. Text overlays on images are some of the easiest and most powerful pieces of content that you can easily create on a desktop or mobile device. Pick your favorite app or desktop tool and get creative. There's a lot of options for online tools, including PowerPoint, Canva. This is a free online image editor that has tons of templates. There's templates for Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook cover photos, Twitter, and more. And you can use it to create collages or your own original designs with overlays and text. Although Canva is free, Some stock images and designs you may want to use do cost $1 per design. PicMonkey is a free online tool that allows you to edit photos, create collages, and add overlays with text onto images too. PicMonkey is also free, but you can get more features with the paid version, which is $33 a year, which is pretty darn cheap. Pablo, we mentioned before, is a free, super simple app designed by Buffer. It was designed specifically for creating text overlays in seconds, and it gives you 3 sizes to choose from depending on the network you plan to share it with, and a bunch of stock images you can pick to put text over. Pixlr is available for desktop or mobile, and it's a more robust photo editor. It functions like a user-friendly Photoshop, and you can really do a lot with it to doctor up your images for social. If you're not interested in purchasing something as professional as Photoshop, try Pixlr. It comes in beginner, intermediate, and advanced versions with free and premium pricing tiers. And finally, PhotoPin is a great way to use and find great images, and I've covered PhotoPin in particular in a number of different webinars. If you haven't tried PhotoPin and are looking for great free imagery to use to pop against some of these other tools, PhotoPin is a great tool to find Creative Commons licensed content. Creating compelling text images is pretty darn simple. Simply choose a free royalty image or background and use one of the ones that you found on your own, like from a picture that you've taken at an event. Then add text that'll stand out on top, choose your font, and you can share your quote, funny meme, or tip on social media. Very simple and easy. Checking back, making sure we don't have any questions, and it looks like we're good, so I'm going to keep going because there's an app for all of these things. I've covered a few of these already before, but let's dig in a little bit deeper on some of the tools that you can use to curate, manage, and post your content online. Curating content should be an important part of your social media strategy, and it can become incredibly time-consuming if you're not using the right tools. There's a lot of apps out there that can help you curate content on mobile devices, and these are for mobile devices. These are the 5 I'm going to look at right now: Feedly, Flipboard, HootSuite, Buffer, and Pocket. Going one by one through these, Feedly, the curation platform we talked about earlier, has an app that allows you to easily find relevant content on a familiar platform on the go. Find content even quicker by categorizing your articles into industries. When you click on the category, you'll see individualized posts from the blogs you've added to that category. Essentially, this allows you to bookmark your favorite blogs whose content you know your fans and followers love to engage with without having to visit all of those websites one by one by one. It aggregates all your favorite bookmarked blogs so that you can read them from one platform. This is pretty darn good on PCs. It's amazing on an iPad or a tablet, and it's passable really on a phone. If you have a bigger phone like a 6S Plus or one of the HTC bigger phones, you can very easily use it as intended. But again, if you want the maximum amount, what I actually do is I use my Feedly app on my iPad and browse through that stuff before I go to bed every night. Flipboard allows you to create personal magazines to help curate content. You choose your favorite social networks, publications, and blogs to view all in one aesthetically pleasing platform. It's especially impressive on a tablet and makes content fun and no longer feels like work. Subscribe to different magazines to get real-time updates when a new piece of content is created, and share it with your Flipboard and other social networks. This can easily be done by clicking on the plus signs next to a magazine or story. I mentioned a couple social management tools before, and HootSuite is one of those. We've talked about how to use HootSuite, and it's important to mention again, you no longer have to have the I'm on the go too much excuse because HootSuite comes with you with their app. The HootSuite app can get cluttered, so make sure to create a tab under the edit feature and name each social media account clearly to easily view their retweets, mentions, and comments all in one place. If you manage this for clients or your own business, as well as personal accounts, this will help you keep it all straight so you don't actually share to the wrong accounts. HootSuite is incredibly powerful, and for a single business, it's pretty darn cheap as well. However, if you're a digital marketing platform or a digital marketing agency like BizzyWeb, this gets pretty darn expensive pretty quick. think most of the tools that we use are, less than $100 or so a month. HootSuite alone would cost $1,200 a month for the 30 accounts that we manage. So probably not a great option if you manage as an agency, but for a single account or for a single business, it's a pretty darn great tool. Buffer gives you scheduling capabilities and reporting, but the plus for this one is that it also allows you to put up evergreen content or content that's relevant no matter when it's published into a queue to easily share later. This can make your social posting even faster. Find content quicker by using Buffer's suggestions tool. Select the topics related to your business or industry and interests to schedule new content with just a click of a button. Finally, Pocket's another free app that you can add to your phone or access your desktop as a plugin. While you're perusing the interwebs on a desktop or mobile, you can click a button to save a video, link, article, or other content to your Pocket list. Later, when you want to schedule that to share with your audience, you can access your list and share it from there. It's a great way to bookmark in a more user-friendly way than a traditional bookmark list. Again, Pocket is kind of similar to Feedly. For my personal preference, I really like Feedly as a management tool and Instapaper as the content sharing tool. So what I normally do on a day-to-day basis is I browse my several hundred blogs via Feedly, and then anything that pops up that's interesting, I will then share to Instapaper, and you can do that with one click inside of Feedly. You can also do the exact same thing with Pocket. With all this information, it's pretty easy to feel like you have to think through every single word or phrase you use. This last section is all about how to use social media in the way that it's supposed to be done. Fun, casual, and not overthinking it. But you also need to make sure that you don't hurt your overall brand by overscheduling or by overthinking. So we're going to talk about that now. First, it's easy to overthink, so you need to get out of your head. On a Facebook post, you can take 5 minutes to create it, and that's okay. Sometimes simply asking your audience a question or sharing a photo that you've taken can do the trick. One of the biggest advantages to being a small business owner is the authenticity that you give to your brand. Be real, be honest, and again, it's less about selling and much more about helping. Social media is supposed to be a conversation. Be your professional self and you'll be fine. Remember that most people are in a lighthearted mood when they're viewing social media, so your posts need to be personable and fun to grab their attention. Again, you don't want to be too glib, and if you're a funeral parlor, for example, you might not want to go off with jokes of the day. So you want to make sure that you're appropriate with your audience, but make sure that you're careful with that. And here's a final fun tip that's worth repeating. Your social media voice should be your voice after one glass of wine, but only one. Whether it's a glass of wine or a deep breath, make sure that you start your experience relaxed. It's supposed to be fun. Now you can begin to save time while implementing your social media marketing for your business and clients. So what's next? First, you'll want to set up an RSS reader like Feedly for your business. You can add folders or for blogs related to your client's business if you manage social media for other parties. As a reminder, the RSS reader we originally mentioned is called Feedly, and the tool that I use with Feedly is Alltop, ALLTOP.com, to find great feeds. You can also take your Feedly tool and plug it into a tool like Pocket or like Instapaper to save your favorite articles for use later. You can also use Evernote for that and a number of other socially engaged tools. You're going to browse a ton of content, but tools like Feedly will let you tweet and post out right from inside of them if you want. Find the social media management tool that's right for you and begin using it at least twice a week. While you're setting it up, also set up an analytics report and have an email sent to you bi-weekly. If you're on your desktop a lot, you're going to want to set up a management tool that will help you keep in touch. HootSuite, Buffer, and Edgar are great options for scheduling posts. Next, download one content curation app and one social media management app. These will save you tons of time on the go. Flipboard's fantastic for curation, and Buffer can make managing your social media incredibly simple with those evergreen posts. Pocket can be useful if you browse a lot on your phone or desktop. Just get those apps out there and start tinkering with them. The job of a social media or digital marketing manager is mostly about being a professional tinkerer. Get used to trying tools, find what works for you, do more of what works, find what's not working through analytics, and continue to modify or adjust. Number 4, get into the habit of using your RSS reader to find relevant content that you think your audience would like, and get used to scheduling these posts throughout the course of a week. Try to share at least 2 to 5 times a day at first for Twitter, maybe a couple times for Facebook, and 1 to 3 times a week for LinkedIn. It gets easier, and you'll see your followers start to creep up with consistency. Finally, get playful. Once you've gotten the hang of this, start to put some humor and talk like yourself or your brand in your tweets. Engage with people, follow those who follow you, and explore the wonderful world of social media. One final note. If all of this still seems like it's way too much to handle, BizzyWeb can help you by creating or setting up a buzz builders relationship with you. You can use BizzyWeb as your outsourced marketing department, and we will help you with email marketing, Facebook ads, social media marketing, Google AdWords, search engine optimization, and content writing. So if you need help with any of those things, it'll be much less than hiring a single person to bring BizzyWeb on as your outsourced marketing partner. And then you talk to us once a month versus trying to do things 2 or 3 times a day. This is our spot for questions. So if you do have questions, please do send those in. Again, as a reminder, you can ask questions during or from our event by going into this tool. And again, if you click on number 1 under the Google Plus link, you can ask those questions here. We have a ton of folks that are online, so I know you probably have some questions about what to do and what to use. So if you do have those, let me know. Or again, if you're shy, just send a note to dave@bizzyweb.com, and I'll include that link in a moment. We do have a special offer. If you'd like to sign up today with Constant Contact, we can get you a custom template, which is usually $199 value, if you sign up online at bizzyweb.com/cc. There is a 100% money-back guarantee, and if you want to get started for the first 60 days, you can try this completely free without entering a credit card or anything. You won't be able to get the template until you pay for Constant Contact, but once you do, if you sign up through us, you'll get a professional mobile responsive template from us via Constant Contact. To find out more, go to bizzyweb.com/events to keep up with our digital marketing. Our next event that we have coming up is, let me go here. If you go to events and our events calendar, it'll take you into this page. And we've got coming up next, finding your vertical markets and marketing to them. So we're going to talk about vertical marketing next Wednesday. Would love to see you there, and keep up at bizzyweb.com/events. We have a bunch of stuff coming up, whether it's measuring your marketing, new uses for email marketing, what to say and how to say it, and content resources coming up during the month of June. Would love to have you there. And finally, if you would like to join us and keep up to date on what's going on, just text BIZZY to 22828 to join our mailing list. I mentioned this before, but we don't sell anything on our mailing or in our mailings. All we do is send you reminders for BizzyWeb events or BizzyWebinars and helpful content and information that we find as we're doing our job for our clients. So if you're interested in digital marketing strategies and tips, go ahead and text BIZZY to 22828 to get started with us. Finally, I shared with you how to get a hold of us. If you would like this PowerPoint deck, just send an email to dave@bizzyweb.com. Or if you have questions at any time, you can send us a note or call us at 612-4BIZZY-O, 612-424-9990. And as a final reminder, sign up with Constant Contact for that $199 value free template at bizzyweb.com/cc. And if you would like a buzz report on how your marketing is doing for you with some handy recommendations on what you can do to improve, go to bizzyweb.com/buzz. I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Thank you so very much for joining us today. I'll answer all of your questions that you sent in via email right after this. And don't forget, if you'd like that slide deck, just send me a note at dave@bizzyweb.com and we'll ship it your way. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and BizzyWeb. And remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. See you next week.